Hi Dad, happy Father's Day. So Mom asked us to put together this little video for you. We're supposed to answer a few questions. So one of my first questions I'm going to answer are, what are some of my memories of our house? So I grew up in the same house my whole life, so I've got lots and lots of really good memories from that house. I remember the boys fighting a lot, but that's okay. I remember lots of home-cooked meals, family home-cooked meals. That was one of my favorite things. I loved that was something that we did, was sitting down together as a family and eating dinner. I remember going out into the backyard and feeding all of our various animals and all the chickens, and I remember going out in the back with friends and getting chased by the geese, and it was a good house. So my next question that I'm going to answer is, what are my strongest memories of you? So it's hard to pinpoint something specific, but I think one of the biggest things is that you were always just really reliable. You were the best dad. You were there all the time. I never felt like you were far away. You were at all of our sporting events, and you were just really good at making sure that we knew how much you loved us. And it was definitely felt, dang. So my next question is, what's the best thing that you've ever cooked? Which is kind of funny coming from me, because most of the stuff you cooked I hated. I remember lots of soups, and I hated soup. But I do love that you were very conscious of what you were feeding us, and that was important to you. And even though most of the time I just tried to feed it to the dogs, it still was something that I've carried with me, and I definitely don't practice it as well as you and Mom, but I do try to eat good for the most part. So when I try to think of the best thing that you cook, it's kind of hard, but the first thing that comes to mind is your nut-crusted salmon, which is weird, but it's true. I really liked that. Okay, so my next question: how am I most like you, and how am I different? I like to think that I'm most like you because of you've always had a good attitude about life. I never felt like you ever got too down on yourself or about life in general. And that's something that I try to do. And it's something that I appreciate about you too. How am I the most different? I don't know. I think you're probably a lot harder of a worker than I am. And like I said, I definitely don't eat as good, even though I do try. So those are probably the two things for how I'm most different. And what am my last question is, what am I most thankful for? There's a lot to be thankful for when I think about you and Mom and how you raised us. But I'm just really glad and thankful for the family that we have. And it wouldn't be possible without you and Mom. I'm such a crybaby now. But you guys raised us so good. I'm just really proud of our family and the relationships that we all share, and I'm so grateful for that and for the gospel, and I know that that's a huge reason for why we are the way that we are. So thank you, Dad and Mom. Thank you for raising us and for being the best. I love you. Happy Father's Day. Bye.
Hey Pops. Question number 1. What did you have to play with a child that kids don't have today? Something that came to my mind thinking about that was those sweet rubber band guns that you made us, carved out of wood, and there's some different rifles and crazy things that you made us as a kid. Number 3. What are the strongest memories of your dad? Some of the strongest memories, the things that I think about when I think about my dad is, first, how his relationship with my mom, how he treated her. They are amazing together, both of them. I only have good memories of them together and how they treated each other, and just, you could always tell how much they loved each other just by watching them. And also just how selfless my dad is. He always was working on people, on his family, on me, till 12 or 1 or 2 in the morning, falling asleep. And working on our friends and our friends' family and strangers, and he's always doing something for other people, always taking care of other people and his family first, always. Number 4. What are your favorite memories of family gatherings? When I think about our family gatherings, I don't think many families had gatherings or get-togethers like we did. They were crazy and not always fun in the moment, but thinking back and looking back, we had some pretty great times out in nature and camping and hiking and just growing together in the wilderness, almost dying. That's the best. That's how you grow close together. But yeah, when I think about our gatherings, they're always the crazy things we were doing outside in the mountains, and I love it. I think some of the best advice that I've gotten from my dad, from watching the way he lives and how he taught us, was in hard times, when things are tough, remember the teachings of the gospel in Christ and live the laws of happiness. And you'll get through. God will help you through. And it's always been true. I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day. Thank you for being the best dad in the world and the best example in the world. Love you.
Happy Father's Day, Pa. So us children are supposed to answer 5 questions about ourselves. And here we go. What made you successful at work? I'm just incredibly smart and talented. Simple as that. Dumbest thing I did as a child. I did a lot of dumb things. But I think one that I always think about is stuffing mud in Jordan's ears and probably all over his face. But I think that one sticks with me because we documented it. We have a really good picture of that. I'm just sitting there in the mud, looking like a dirty little kid, mud streaming out of his ears. That was a good one. My favorite memory of family gatherings, I think that'd probably have to be our Grand Canyon trip. That was like kind of a magical trip. I'd never thought the Grand Canyon would be anything like that. We had like the cleanest, clearest blue water in the middle of this desert canyon. Super fun. Got to hang out with family that we don't see all the time. And I got heat stroke for the first time in my life as we were climbing out of it. That was a good time. Let's see. Best advice Dad ever gave me. I don't remember any specific advice. I mean, he was always like reading us passages from the Bible and teaching us about that, and that came with a lot of advice, which I'm sure is really good. But I think more than anything, I think he like set a really good example for me. And I don't know if that's advice, but it's I don't know. I think it's like something that would steer you in the same way that advice would. That has always been a caring, compassionate, and I think a good human that makes everybody around him feel good. Whether that be from his day-to-day interactions, what he does for a living, or just, I don't know, each one of his kids, he always made us feel good. And I hope I can, I don't know, take his example as a push for myself in the right direction. Now, the last question, strongest memories of my dad. We have lots of really good memories. We've been on lots of trips. Dad has done a lot of projects with us. I think probably something that I think is most impactful to me and like most important to me was that he always made me feel like I was like his buddy, like I was special. I remember plenty of times feeling kind of angry or hurt at things in life, and Dad would always be there to reassure me and let me know that our relationship was special and that it meant a lot. Love you, Pa.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. The first question that I'm going to answer is, what do you think the world needs more of right now? And simply you, because you're one of a kind. So obviously there needs to be more of that. And since you're so rare, I think it's not fair that the good people of the world are so limited. And Dad, you're definitely one of those. As I've gotten older, I've really realized it. There's a question that says, how did you choose your career? And I think I always think that my career chose me, but honestly it was everything that you've engraved into me, into my soul through my whole life, through teaching me how important health is. And it's not just a coincidence that that's what I'm doing now for others. So you definitely brought me up to value my body, to value my health, and to take care of myself. And I haven't always listened to you, but what teenager or kid does always listen to their parents? It's funny to get older and realize how much you know. So I really feel like I'm on the path I am now with my career because of what you taught me, Dad. What is the best thing you've ever cooked? That's a question I think about all the different meals you always cooked us, and I think it was just a combination of always using healthy ingredients in our meals and making it feel like we ate differently than other people. It's carried on to my adulthood, and but if I had to narrow it down to a specific meal, I think it would be that banana cream pie or the 4 or 5 layer delight, the desserts. Out of everything, it would be the apple pies, because you would get us all to participate. You wouldn't want to do it yourself, and as a kid I rolled my eyes and said that's not fair, but gosh, it's something that I try to portray later on in my life with having other people help out with everything. I remember sitting there cutting apples for hours, it seemed like, even though it was probably just a few minutes, but when those apple pies were done, some vanilla ice cream, and I could have a bite now of an apple pie. I can honestly say it won't come close to the way that you used to do it, Dad. The best advice that you've given me, Dad, is, I don't know if it's anything you've ever said specifically, it's just your whole life. You lived it as an example. And that is advice to me I'm going to strive for, to see who you are in action and to be the dad you are, the loving father you were always, is the best advice that you have ever given me. your gentle spirit, your kindness, your continual example, and everything that you've always done, and the way that you loved us, and the way that you always wanted to help others, and the way that you loved Mom, the way that you treated everybody. It always resonated with me later on in my life as I realized, not everybody is as amazing as my dad. He really is special. You're miles ahead of everybody. I've met some incredible people, but it's so cool to see that my dad is so unique and special, even amongst these other people that I meet. I look up to you more than anybody.
Hi. Alright, so first question, what's my earliest memory? I think my earliest memories are from our house in Flagstaff. I remember making ghosts for Halloween with Mom. I remember hiding in the closet, sneaking candy, and Mom finding me. I remember I was supposed to be taking a nap. I don't know which house this was in, but I was supposed to be taking a nap, and I was just playing with toys, and I remember Mom opening the door, and I kind of got in trouble, but then she came in and just played with me instead of making me take a nap. Alright, so when I was younger, I remember a couple of my favorite books, or not books, but movies. A couple of my favorite movies were Rigoletto and The Lion King. I think it was in 3rd grade. I memorized the whole movie of The Lion King, and I could just like spout off the whole thing, word for word. What did I think I would be when I grew up? I remember wanting to be a veterinarian, and then I wanted to be a marine biologist. Those are the first two things that I remember wanting to be when I was a kid, when I grew up. Alright, my strongest memories of Dad. I remember lots of hiking. I have good memories of just like our daddy-daughter hikes where it was just me and him, and we would go to Yosemite, or usually Yosemite, and he and I would just hike. I have good memories of just cooking with Dad, and making pies with him, and I remember a lot about working on the house, like whether it was crawling around on the roof, helping to take off shingles, which was kind of fun. I remember doing that, pouring concrete, or just helping with other, I don't even remember, tiling, lots of things. I remember Dad drawing with me when I'd have art projects at school or anything like that. Dad would always help me with those. He'd, give me little tips and show me how to do certain things. And I always enjoyed drawing and doing art projects with him. And of course, being adjusted by Dad. Lots of memories of that. It's good memories. Alright, and then the last question, was I ever on teams or played sports? I played softball, I think was maybe swim team. was the first one that I did, and then softball. And then in high school, mostly volleyball and basketball and swim team. And those are some of my favorite memories from high school. Yep, I guess that's it. So happy Father's Day. Love you. Bye.